Welcome to the Turner's Download. Today we are going to be discussing us, right? A little bit of how we met, our journey, just some things about us. So we're going to start off talking about how we actually met. Do you want to go with your story first?
Yeah,
Or
I'll start.
okay.
So me and some of my friends were downtown doing our due diligence, just being single, enjoying the nightlife. And we're at Gracie's, our normal kick it spot. And I seen Brittany and some of her friends come into Gracie's, and I seen one of the guys that I went to college with, Adam. So I was like, and I seen her in her green dress. I was like, okay, I need to ask about this girl. So I asked Adam. I was like, Adam, are you talking to her? He's like, no. So I'm like, all right. I was like, she's single. He's like, as far as I know. So I was like, can you hook a brother up? He's like, let me see what I can do. So then I guess he went to talk to her. Then he came back to me, and then she's like, well, he told me like, yeah, just go talk to her. So me being who I am, I went and approached her, and I got the number. Pretty simple, right?
Whoa, 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 whoa. I think we're like fading over some spots there.
Like what?
Well, so like you said, we met at a bar slash club um, in Salt Lake City. And yeah, he was with some friends. I was with a big group of people. Um, we all came in there, and he apparently spotted me in the green dress. What we always talk
Yeah.
about, that green dress. Um, and I had like sworn off dating for that time. Like I was just over it, and I was just out to have a good time with friends, whatever. No dating. But my friends were like, "Hey, this guy really wants to talk to you. Like he's asking about you. I've talked to him for a little bit. Like he seems different. You should give him a chance." I was just like, "Nah, I'm good. I'm good. Like I'm not. I just want to have a good time. I want to let loose." And they were like, "Really? I think you should." Like, and I think they were saying that because I mean, you are you are my type and everything. So I was like, no, 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 I'm good. Anyways, ended up talking to him for a little bit, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't. Like I can't. I'm not going that route because he is like my type, and I'm like that has gotten me in so much trouble in the past. Like I'm being smarter now, and I remember when I was talking to him, he had he was very humble, but he had like a gold chain with his, he still has it, but with a football on it. And I spotted it and I was like, oh my gosh, did you play football? Are you a football player? And he was like,
Back in my heyday.
why? Like, why? And I'm like, oh, I can't. Like, what you look like and how your swag was and everything. I was like, plus the football. I was like, no, I can't. Like, you are just my vice and I cannot.
That
So,
kryptonite.
anyways, I did play hard to get, but I guess at the end of the night, I gave you my number because usually I don't give out my number. I didn't usually give out my number. I was like, find me on social media. Like I would give them my social media, or I would take their number, but I wouldn't give out my number. But I guess I did that,
Hmm.
and I did play hard to get for a little while though.
Tried to hang out a few times and just didn't happen. I was like, all right, this just not gonna work. I was like, all right, well you had a wedding that you were going to. I was like, just give me an opportunity to come hang out, and then we'll know. And then after that, we can go our separate ways, or we can continue to talk.
Yeah, because I was going out of town for a while,
Yeah.
and yeah, he was like, can you just like give me some time? Like usually I know very quickly if this is gonna work or not. Or you also said usually people know very quickly if they like me or not. Which I was like, oh, that's interesting. Didn't know how to take that, but okay. But yeah, we managed to figure it out because I was busy. Like I was a busy person. But we've managed to figure it out, and our
Mhm.
first date was where?
Olive Garden.
Auden Garden, as our 5-year-old says. Um, so we went to Auden Garden, and then we went back to your place.
Yeah, you came back to my place, and I had to show her what the real thing was. We didn't have sex, no, but I
Oh
showed her all of my good
nothing,
smells.
nothing happened. Absolutely
Nothing,
nothing.
nothing happened. Yeah. Well,
But
for me, it was like whenever I meet a girl, I something weird. I can tell if it's a one night stand or if it's gonna be something longer. And with Brittany, I got a vibe after like our first date. I was like, this could be something more. So I'm not trying to just hook up with her. I'm trying to actually get to know her more to figure out what this could be.
so he takes me in his place, and he starts bringing out all these baggies, and they're of cologne, and he starts like twisting them and like putting them on my nose and be like, smell this.
Different flavors.
That is what we did. I was like, what is happening? And I remember leaving and being like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do that again. So funny. But yeah, you just kept talking to me while I was at that wedding, and you must have.
I already knew. I was like, this could be something more. So let's keep going. But if you'd have been like, no, I'd been like, all right, well, see ya. But we kept going. Conversation was good, and we went on another date. Remember that one time we went hiking?
Oh no!
We went.
Stop! Don't.
So I'm not. Look at me. I'm
Even
not a hiker,
don't.
but she said
I
she wanted to
am.
go
I do
hiking.
love hiking.
So she had a dog, and we jumped in her car. Went to where did we go?
Memory Grove.
That place. And she was in sandals, and I was like, "How are you in sandals?" And we're going like, I thought we were just gonna be in the park, but we started going to mountains and stuff, and she's in sandals. I'm like, this girl's weird.
No, but here's the thing. I didn't even know they had like that hiking part in Memory Grove. I just thought it was like the Memory Grove Park where you could take the dogs. And then And then somebody, I don't even know how we started going out into that, but I was like, oh,
She put
I
those
only have my
sandals.
flip
She
flops.
put those flip flops in sport mode before there's a sport mode.
Yes. Oh my gosh. But we should talk about dating, like your
Oh,
California, Utah
so
dating. We need to talk about this.
so when I moved to Utah and I was seeing people date, and then I would ask them like, "Are you dating this person?" They're like, "No." Oh, I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then next day I hear them they're dating someone else. I'm like, "You say you're not dating this person, but you're dating this person, but I see you out with this person." So I was just like confused on the dating, because in California, if you're dating someone, that means you're dating that person only. But I guess in Utah, you can date this person, you can date that person, but you guys are just hanging out. So it was
But
weird to me.
I feel like it was like I feel like it's the context of dating, because I can see both ways of dating, because like you're like, oh, we're dating like exclusively, and that's what you say California dating is. Um, and then I can see like, oh no, I'm just like dating around. So I feel like it's like the context of
Still that word, dating.
it.
You dating. Don't say dating, just say we hanging out. And then I'm like, oh, I know. But you say we're dating, I'm like, all right, well, you dating that person, bag up. But we're just hanging out, free game.
Yeah, so that was interesting. But then then we just
We continued to date and
continued
just
to
hung out.
date. Um, and should we tell? Was that before I moved?
What?
The key.
Oh, the key? You gave me a key to your house and said I didn't want it? Yeah. I don't need no key to your house. I come over when you're there. If you're not there, I'm going to stay at my place.
Oh, you guys. I mean, I never paid my key to anybody, but Like, I am not somebody that like freely is like, oh my gosh, like I want to be super serious with you. Like, I was always like, it took me a really long time to get serious with people. And so I was trying to be different, trying to open up, trying to not be scared or like stubborn or whatever. But I decided to give him a key just like in case you want to come over or
Unannounced, no.
yeah, like it was like super like to me it was like a big deal, but also I wanted it to be like super lax, not like here's the key to my house and now we have to be so serious. But it was like a big deal for me because like I didn't do that. But yeah, I just got it thrown in my face.
I just
Pretty
said I didn't
much.
want it. Like
I don't
I'll
want
come over
it.
when you're here.
I don't want it. Can you believe that? I know. I think we need like comments. Like you guys need to chime in about the whole Utah California date thing, and also like this key thing. Like I don't know. Could anybody feel my pain with that? I was like, just like totally distraught because I was like, this is a big deal for me. But of course, I didn't communicate that to him. But he was just like, I don't want it. I was like,
I was
what?
like, I don't need the key. If you're home, you can open the door for me or leave it unlocked and I come over. But I don't need the key just to come let myself in. It's not my house. It's your house.
Okay, but at that moment when I gave you the key, were you kind of like, whoa? She's like,
Slow down.
she's like, whoa.
I mean, it was after one of the dates we had. You try to give me your last name.
Oh my
so I'm like,
gosh.
I already know she wants to marry me, but like, slow down. I'm still figuring things out.
No, it was so funny because we went and that was you converted me to iPhone. Something happened to my phone and I needed a new phone.
And
then we went to dinner and I was trying to like put stuff in. And I feel like every time you get a new phone, it's different, right? But especially like iPhone and Android. And so I was trying to figure things out and like my mind is always so busy. And so it just like randomly, I didn't even notice until you made fun of me, but I was like, Dion Parker.
No. Still early. I was like, she wants to marry me.
It was so funny. Oh man. But anyways, why we are taking you on this journey, also you guys need to get to know us. But I had a client the other day and she was asking me like, oh, how did you and your husband meet? And so I told her the story of the green dress, like you see the girl in the green dress from afar. And she was like, I feel like that just doesn't happen anymore. And then I kept on telling her about our story, as you guys will find out. But she's like, I feel like you guys are like, this could be a movie, like of your journey. So I was like, we should. Well, I didn't say it. You had the idea, but I was like, oh, this is perfect because I was just talking to a client about us and everything.
So what? Were we dating for what, like a year and some change?
Yearish.
Before you wanted to move to Florida.
But here's the thing: it wasn't like, I was talking about moving to a couple of different places because I needed a change in my job. I was struggling really, really bad. Stress overload. Like it was, I don't know if I've ever been to that point. I would just like lose my mind all over. Like my dermatologist told me I needed to get a new job because it was so bad. But I was thinking of like changing. I always wanted to move out of Utah. Like I didn't want to stay here. And so we had conversations about moving. Like I didn't just be like, okay, peace out, see you later.
But I also told you places I didn't want to be because when I played in the NFL, I was in certain places and I'm like, I'm not an East Coast person, I'm a West Coast person. So West Coast, I can stay. East Coast, no. So she chose Florida and I was like, I'm not going. But I'm a true believer in if you let something go and it comes back to you, then it's meant to be. And that's what happened.
Yep, I moved to Florida. It was just me and my little boxer dog. Tried to start up a new venture and a new job, and a place I didn't know. You guys, if you have not been to Florida, granted, I love vacationing there. Wonderful place to vacation. Live, no, not the safest. I definitely went through my challenges there, but Gators, where I lived, it was an apartment complex, and there was like big old ponds. Like it was a very big one, and there was ponds, all over. And they had signs, and they were like, "Don't feed." So like, "Don't feed or molest the alligators." They were everywhere. Like you would look, and I am so glad I did not live on the first floor because there would be a giant gator laying, sunning themselves on the grass right next to somebody's door, like right next to it. Like my little boxer, he almost got eaten. He was this close, because I'm a Utah girl and just let my dog be off leash because he's a good dog and he doesn't really like being on the leash. He liked chasing the lizards everywhere, and I didn't realize, and there was a gator right. Like if he would have gone any further, he would have been.
You would have chased the
lunch.
wrong lizard.
Yeah. So let's just say he was definitely on a leash after that, but I don't know why I went on a tangent. We just talked about Florida. But
so you were in Florida for what?
I was in Florida for, not the longest, like 4 months.
Moved there, all her stuff, rented out her house.
Well, I sold a lot of my stuff. I rented out my house. Luckily, I did not sell it. I rented it. But yeah, I took my little trailer across the country to Florida. And then I was like, there was just
something missing.
There was all these bad things happening, and I was like, what is going on? Do I push through? Because I'm a person that's like, I'm going to push through. I'm going to keep pushing. I'm just going to keep going. And I'm like, but this just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. And I wouldn't leave Dion alone either. I kept talking to him.
I was like, all right, she's gone. I'm single again. Utah dating.
Oh my gosh. But yeah. What? I talked to you one night and I was like, hey, I
want to come back. And I was like, all right, how do we do this? So it's like, how about you just fly out here and then pick me up and just load all my stuff up and then we can just drive back.
Yeah. So I paid for his plane ticket. I flew him out. And
I drove her back.
He drove me back?
Much.
Drove me and Cash back.
And we've been together ever since.
Yep.
Ups and downs.
Oh, lots of ups and downs, but doesn't everybody have them? But yeah, we had to wait. We had to wait to move back to my house.
Wait till your renters was
my
out.
lease, yeah. But then we moved back, and then you were just like, I can't live without her. I have to marry her.
Yes, that's what I said. No guy, well, I didn't dream of getting married. I think that's a girl's dream. So she wants to get married by a certain age and have kids. I'm like, so much pressure. But I was like, okay, let's do it.
But was that really a thing? What? Like, I know we talked about it, and I was like, I would love to be married by this time.
She gave me an ultimatum.
I did not. He would always ask me. Like, you always brought it up. I didn't bring it up.
Ultimatum.
No. But I didn't, was that really like pressure?
No, I'm just joking.
I was like, I don't feel like that was pressure. We just chatted about it.
No, we had good times and we were just both busy working, and then we ended up getting married. I asked her, because she always told me she had, on her birthday, bad things happen, so I wanted to change that. So I proposed to her on her birthday. I asked her dad, of course, and he was asking me, what took you so long? I was like, easy, Mark, but love that guy. But he's just like, what took you so long? And then I asked him if I could do it. He was like, yeah. And then I invited some of my friends out to Cheesecake Factory and her dad, and then I did it. She didn't know what was coming. Plus, it was pretty dark and you didn't know what was happening anyway. But Yeah, cheesecake. That's our place.
That's our place. It is our place. We love it. Um, yeah, we got married. We had a little baby not
Mm-hmm.
long after our cute little cruise. And then we thought it was a brilliant idea to up and leave
Mm-hmm.
all that we have created
Time for a change. Said I stay on the West Coast.
and move. Like, change everything that we knew. And not only just move, like, we moved 2 months after I gave birth. So, 2-month-old. We had to sell the house.
Mm-hmm. Which I told her we should rent,
I know. I should have
but
listened to him.
you know, it wasn't my house; it was her house before she met me. So I was like, all right, we sold it.
We sold it. I know.
But we moved to Tucson, bought a house out there, had a pool and all that. You know me, I'm not getting no pool. It's already hot.
It was so fun. I loved having a pool because me and Cruz were in it almost every day. But it was a lot of work because I took care of it most of the time, and it would like literally keep me up at night. Like, I would stress so much because it was so hard to maintain. Well, and we had trees, so that was a big, huge problem. It messed up all the chemicals and everything. But
And COVID hit, so
oh my
that
gosh,
made everything shut down.
oh,
Tucson's already slow,
very
but
slow,
with
very,
with the
very,
COVID,
very
it
slow.
got even slower.
Oh my gosh,
So it
and
made things
struggles.
harder.
So much struggle. Mamas out there, like, having your firstborn is hard because your life just shuts down and it's very different. But think of trying to sell a home,
Doing showings.
Yeah, showings. Oh my gosh. I hated that so much. I was a mess. I'd always be alone, and I'd have little Cruz and our 2 crazy dogs, and they'd be like, "You gotta get out of the house," and it was a mess. But yeah, showings and then moving. We didn't have a whole lot of family to help. My dad and Kathy, and then your friends.
And I remember we got that with the biggest U-Haul you can get, 26. You're like, babe, we don't need that big. I was like, no, we do. We'll be fine. She's like, we just need like, what was it? I think a 10 or 18. I was like, no, we're going to get the biggest they have, and then we're just going to load it up and we have space. Great. But let me tell you, that thing was packed
It was
to
like,
the max.
but you put your motorcycle in there too.
Did that take up
It
a
took
lot
up a
of
lot of
space?
room.
No, it was in the
Yes.
front, but we had stuff to the back of
Oh
the
my
door.
gosh, it was so bad. We probably really didn't need to like pack all this stuff.
But we did.
But we did. But we trekked to Tucson. We had to live with friends.
You flew.
I flew
drove
with Cruz.
with the dogs and
Yeah.
the U-Haul. Then had my friends drive my truck down.
You didn't take my dad. My dad took the big old truck.
He did take the U-Haul. I took the dogs and my friends came roll with me. And I think someone else had a car.
Well, we had
2 cars. Your
two
car
cars.
and my car.
Yeah.
Because Deck and Dime drove yours and I drove mine with the dogs. Yeah, that's right.
But we had to live
with my friend
with
for a
your
while because
friend
we were trying to figure out
friends.
where we want to live, the scenarios, or not scenarios, the scenery and what areas. But
And oh my gosh, we were so grateful. So grateful for them.
Yes.
Not to mention, like, just being so grateful for first time mom, like Rachel, they had 3, because Crinzer, she just had Crinzer too. So she helped me a ton too, but I was like a mental head case, like it was bad. And Cruz didn't sleep, so Cruz slept for 2 hours, the longest period of time he would sleep. But yeah, we were all crammed into a little room.
Mm-hmm.
For how long did we live with them?
Maybe was it 6 months? Maybe was it that long?
No, it wasn't that long.
Well, we had that place around January. We moved down there. What?
Oh, so we moved in November.
So maybe
3-ish.
3-ish months.
Yeah.
2-ish is 3-ish months.
Yeah, we found a place. It was a lot. Well, it was smaller than what we had.
Yes.
But it had a pool. which I loved. But yeah, we already talked about that. But yeah, then COVID hit, and that was rough. So rough. But then we had some unfortunate instances happen. I was already struggling a lot. But yeah, had some unfortunate things happen, some losses back to back. I am staring at the vacuum so that I don't get emotional. But I mean, I might as well just come out with it because we're going to talk about it anyways. I I had a miscarriage, and then shortly after, days after, one of my best friends, my dad, just out of the blue passed. I was actually flying out to see him the next day.
Yep.
So that was a lot. That was heavy. And like I said, I was already like not happy. And I remember telling Dion one night before any of this came about, I was like, I just have this feeling. I'm just like, who's going to take care of my dad? Like when he gets old. And then all that happened. And then I stayed out there for a while because we just, it happened and we just packed up the truck and just drove all night.
Well, I drove.
Dion drove. And he will let you know that whenever we drive somewhere, he always drives and I sleep.
Yes. But that's okay. That's okay.
But
yes,
yeah,
so
anyways, long story short.
We moved back to Utah, and this when everything was going crazy. Interest rates were super low, purchase price was super high. So we ended up staying with family in Heber. We stayed with them for a year. Was that a year?
No, because we moved back in February and we got our house in the end of June.
July, yeah. So we stayed there for a few months.
And also in a little room. Oh my gosh, we can't say enough about Kathy.
Yeah.
Holy cow. She saved our butts big time. And just everybody up there was so helpful. So we had Cruz. Cruz was like a year and a half. Maybe not even that old. Yeah, probably close to a year and a half. Our 2 dogs. And we were again in a room. We made it happen. But yeah, like Dion was saying, you go ahead. You know all this stuff, but with the housing.
I mean, I didn't know at that time, but I just know we just put in. So during this whole process, we were putting in offers, and we put in like over 30 some offers. And some of the times we didn't even look at a house. We just threw an offer and it was like, we'll see if we win. If we win, then we go look at it. But at that time, I was doing solar in Colorado, so I would work a week on, a week off. And Brittany was here with Cruz and working and taking Cruz to daycare, just trying to figure it out.
Commuting to Salt Lake. Yeah.
Bonus points, brownie points. She did awesome. Aww. But I mean, that's the reason that I got into becoming a loan officer, because my brother-in-law up there, he's a loan officer, and just we had 2 houses together. She had one before, but we had to sell the house, and just the difference from the loan officers that we had, 2 of them was just like, all right, you have good credit, you have money down, we're going this route. With him, maybe he gave me insiders because I'm family. He was just like, here's options, and educated me more on you can put money down or you can keep it in the bank. Just because COVID, you don't know what's going to happen. So rather you have a little mortgage payment or insurance payment, and then have all your money in the bank account. So that's what we did, and we stumbled upon this jewel that we're in now. And I'll let Brittany tell you, because I was out working when she got this house.
Yes, this is a story too. So like he said, we just put so many offers and they went like crazy. Like these houses would not stay for like even hours. And so you had to be quick. And we put an offer on this one. We just looked at pictures. We didn't see it. Like, and I remember looking at it and I was like, oh my gosh, this one looks so great. Like has this open kitchen and everything that I had been wanting and stuff like that. So anyways, we put an offer down. We didn't get it. Whatever, like on to the journey. So I don't even remember how much time went by, but couple weeks at least,
Mhm.
few weeks. My lovely friend Brooke, who first started showing us houses, she, well, let me tell you the story just because I like the whole story. But okay, so anyways, having a rough time. Dion's not there. You know, the housing market's going insane. I'm still like a mess with all my losses and we move, whatever. My son is taking a nap and I just lose my mind basically. I'm just sobbing on the floor, like sobbing and uncontrollably. And I'm just like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what to do. We can't get a house. Like, I'm a mess, like all the things. And I talked to my angels, my spirit team. Dion thinks I'm a little woo-woo, but I was talking to my dad and I was just like, Dad, like, what do I do? Like, what do I have to do? Like, help us, please help us. And I say this because I totally believe in this, that it happened for a reason and that he helped us. But anyways, that happened. And I'm driving my son to the park to get out of the house. And all of a sudden I get this call from my friend Brooke. She first showed us some houses and then the market was just getting way too crazy. She just kind of had her license. She wasn't like actively working. And so she was so kind enough to show us houses and we started to kind of feel bad and we're like, it's hard, like taking your time and trying to see all these houses. Anyways, so we ended up going with somebody else that Ty knew. But she's like, oh my gosh, like, do you remember this house that you put an offer on? And at first I was like, I have no idea what one she's talking about because we put on so many. And she's like, I will send it to you. But she's like, the original buyers that got it, they of course did a cash, but they didn't see it either.
They lived in like North Carolina, and their agent just came through like FaceTiming them. But I guess what happened was there were stairs in the house, and the husband was disabled, so they backed out of it. And then we were the next offer that they looked at.
Well, they actually bought it.
Yeah.
Like they did the deal, they bought it, and then they came in. They're like, "Whoa, there's too many stairs here. We can't do it because the husband or somebody was in a wheelchair." Which they couldn't because there are tons of stairs. And so us and another were in it in the first decision. So they were calling both of us and being like, "Hey, before we put this back on the market because it's going to go even higher, are you willing to offer and buy it for this much?" And I was like, oh my gosh, like I haven't even seen the house. Like we need to go see it. And Dion's gone. And I'm like, let's go see it. So I go, take our son, we come up here and see it. And it's funky house. It's definitely a funky house. It's a funky layout. But also it was like everything that I should say mostly me, was wanting. And I was just like, thanks. Like, thanks, Dad. Like, this is heaven sent. So, anyways, that's kind of how we got our house and how we're here. But we weren't specifically looking to be up in northern Utah. We are used to Salt Lake County. So it was a little change, but yeah. Here we are. It worked out. We love it. It's great. So now we moved here and then we were here for a while and then we got our cute little Kaya girl, right?
Yes. She's a handful.
She's cute.
She's a handful.
She is a handful. She's so
We'll
cute.
show them one day on the Turn Her Down Low.
Oh man. But anyways, now we're pretty much here. I feel like we've definitely had some tons of switches in work and careers and all that, but
we're building some roots here.
Yeah.
We're starting to settle down.
Finally. I feel like we've been chaotic for almost 5 years. Yeah. But that's just kind of our journey. I feel like I kind of went on tangents and
well, you tend to do stuff like that, but
I talk a lot. Yeah, I do that. But
before we end it out, let's talk about one more thing so we can choose from one of our topics that we want to talk about. What do you think?
What we should choose?
I mean, we can go like one thing that from past experience, or something that I do that bugs you, or something you do that bugs me, or something funny.
Maybe we should be. Oh, should we keep it light? Should we be funny?
Yeah, I'll go first. So something that Brittany does that I think is ridiculous has nothing to do like. So maybe a few months ago, she got a
Uh-huh.
ticket on the freeway,
Oh
and
my
now she's
gosh,
scared
is
to
this
get
what
on
we're
that
talking about?
freeway. I'm like, you can still get on that freeway. It doesn't mean if you get on that freeway, you're gonna get a ticket. So no matter where
Highway.
she is, she avoids that freeway. Even if there's construction, she avoid that freeway over there and try to figure her way back
Oh
to get
my
on this freeway, which
gosh.
makes no sense to me. But that's just silly Brittany.
Stop. That's your funny thing
Yeah.
out of all the
Well,
things.
that's just something that I was like, that's something that Brittany does that makes no sense to me.
Okay, but backstory. It wasn't just that I got a ticket. I had gotten a ticket prior.
2 tickets.
I haven't gotten tickets for a really long time, but I was like, okay, what is happening? I got a ticket for speeding on the highway. I feel like it was the same type of route ish, but okay. And then like literally maybe month,
Yeah, just like
a month later, I get pulled over. But here's the thing: I was being so good. I was
get her
not
Uber.
speeding, but I had never gotten on that way because I was having breakfast with a friend, with Wit, and it like on Google, sometimes when it's not updated, it like doesn't veer the right way. So I was like trying to look at my GPS, but my phone, like, have you guys ever had like with your Apple Plate,
Doesn't
you have
hook
to plug
up.
it doesn't like quite hook up. And so I was like trying to look at my phone, trying to pay attention. This dang, and this police officer had already had somebody pulled over off this side that I saw. And so I'm like trying to look. I was probably not like being great, but then like a couple minutes later, I'm on the highway or whatever, and he comes and smacks me, and he's like, "You are on your phone." And I was like, "How do you even know if I was on my phone? Like, how do you even know?" I was like, I was literally looking at GPS. And I was so upset. I was was like, two tickets, and I haven't had tickets in years. And I was like, how do you even know? I was like, what if I was looking at my GPS on my screen? Like, it's not connecting. And I got a ticket for it. I was really upset about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I won't go over in that area, like Farmington. I won't do it. I won't. Anyways.
All right.
That's my funny.
There's her
apparently.
Tangent.
There's my tangents always. What is something that you do? Something funny.
I'm a funny guy.
Okay. I have learned to laugh at this, but Dion is famous for coming over to me and I'm like busy like doing dinner or like doing stuff, like multitasking, whatever. And he will always come up. He will come up and he will be like, "Hey, babe, what can I help you with?"
Oh.
"Hey, how can I help you? Do you want me to do this? How can I help you?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, if you want to go ahead and do that or whatever." And I feel like half the time he's not even listening to me. And then all of a sudden he vanishes and he's gone. I don't know where he went, but he will vanish for a long time. And then he'll come back up and I'll be like, "Hey, thanks a lot. Thanks for doing that for me."
No, it's because I asked you if you need help with anything. Sometimes you say, "Oh, I got it," or I'm just gonna use the meat that's thrown out." Okay, well, you don't need my help, so I'll be back.
That's not saying I don't need your help.
You didn't say
and
you
sometimes
did.
I do say I need your help, and you just be like, I'll be like, where's your dad?
Gotta go. You gotta say right
It's
now
like
what you need to do.
He just needs to check that box
I
off.
asked.
Oh, I asked. I made sure to ask, and then I'm out. Oh,
well, thank you guys for tuning in to Turner's Download.
But we would like to hear, like, if anybody else has funny things. I would love to hear funny things.
Yeah, well, we're gonna put it on the YouTube channel. So Put in your comments and don't forget to subscribe.
Yes, thanks for joining us today and listening to our journey a little bit. So we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Real life.
No, I already ended it, I think.
You're supposed to do real life. You're supposed to do that every time.
It's still going, but no.
Real life, real talk,
No filter.
no filter.